So you're still watching Women's Voice coming to you live from our studios here. We're discussing this afternoon digital exploitation. We want to understand it better in line with our daily lives and activities that we do. So those were some vox pop from some people on the street or students who were sharing their thought. There were some law issues in, there were women's rights as in valuing ourselves as women, and I saw my guest in the studio nodding, and then another one on the Dr. Konutu was nodding in her house and then at the office while she joined us. So you saw our people. I think some have a fair idea as in what digital exploitation is. I want to find out how serious it is when it comes to digital exploitation, and for the purposes of education, let's let our audience understand what digital exploitation is all about. Any of you can start.
Okay, let me start in general, and then she will join us with the details of the cyber law and the legalities. So I think in simple terms, it's any action or misuse of technology to either harm, exploit, and the word exploit is coming again, or you misuse information, wrongly sharing information, anything that at the end of the day will disempower someone, will abuse someone, will exploit someone. And often this is done through what we call phishing scams, identity theft. So we have instances where somebody will pick your picture. In the era of AI, pretend you are the person. You'll be in a very tight situation where it's actually not you, but your identity is being used. Online blackmail. So I have a video of you, I have a picture of you. If you do not give me money, I'm going to release them. And then also romance scam, pretending they love you, but they don't love you, like we saw in this particular case.
One is more of a romance scam.
Romance scam is involved, exactly. And then, of course, financial fraud. So there are instances where, aside they coming to collect money from you, blackmailing you, they're able to steal your identity, and maybe your bank account, they will empty it. And so often it's not about the fact that, and we're nodding because most of our ladies actually gave interesting insight. But when it comes to cyber exploitation or online or digital exploitation, you can be as intelligent as you can, but you can be gullible. And so I think in Ghana, one of the key ones resonate with is sometimes the Momo fraud.
Exactly.
Where you are called on the spot and you actually don't know. They tell you, oh, we've sent you. So
you don't
they
even know what happened. By the time you realize you have given out your PIN
so
and your monies are gone.
Sometimes even those that are advanced, the fact that they are talking to you, they're able to tap into your system, and like you said, before you realize it is gone. Sometimes you don't even know how you gave your bank details or account to them because you felt that everybody is just like you. They put urgency on the matter. So some will even call you, your daughter is sick and we are at this hospital, can you send this money? You only send before you realize that, oh, I've been defrauded. We also have instances where there is abuse of power. And so somebody is in authority and threatens you. So it can be a parent, it can be a boyfriend, it can be a girlfriend, it can be anybody with power and can exploit you. So if you do not do this, I will do this to you. If you do not send me your naked pictures, I will do that. If you do not send me your naked video, I will do that. So they abuse their power, they put fear in you, and then before you realize, you've been able to. And of course, I mean, sometimes greed. I keep asking people, you've not shipped any items, and somebody has called you that your shipment have arrived, and you still give money. You know you don't have anybody out there. Somebody tells them, I'm coming to marry you, send money, and you sent the money. Some of these things makes you gullible. And so you can be intelligent, but sometimes situations can actually take advantage of you.
So can you say that with this particular one, situations took advantage of them?
I think nobody in their right senses, knowing that I'm being filmed, would have agreed to this. And that's how it's digital exploitation. They did not know. 2 adults, yes, may have consented, but they did not know that this is the purpose. I'm yet to see, there are people that may agree depending on terms and conditions and agreement or contracts you go in with them. If I agree that maybe I'm taking this amount, my video can be shared, that is business. But in this scenario, I don't think none of these ladies in the video agreed or consented first to be filmed.
They did not
Second,
consent, but can we say that probably
to be released into the digital space, and I mean to even humiliate them to this level.
But can we say that probably out of frustration, out of a certain need, push them into that angle? We'll come there. Let's talk about the
the videos that some of us have watched. They didn't look like they were in any need per se. It was like my sister is saying, a normal conversation, a normal, oh, good morning, how are you? My name is A, B, and C. Take my number, then
and
follow
meet
me.
Follow
but
me,
you see, for some of us, we are of the view that a number of things may have happened that are not being shown as part of the transactions that may have occurred. So, for example, we don't know whether or not when the conversations happened, different things happened, but the person circuited it and decided to pick the ones that would favor his agenda. You see, from a lawyer's point of view, I'm looking at the mens rea, the mind of the person, and I'm looking at the mind of the victims as well. If the victims knew that these things were going on, they would have been much more careful. And I do not think that all the victims just took the decisions at the spur of the moment, like it's being made for us to believe.
As if just when he said it that day, he just followed.
Because technology is able to edit, cut, paste, do all the rest of the things, because some of us have been made aware that these videos are on a certain platform and are being sold. So it is not just anyhow video. The guy has a mindset and he did that. So I think our point is that the law frowns against indecent images from, when you look at from section 62.
So we just wanted to find out what the law says about all of these.
The law says a lot of things. So I'll just try
share some three of them, and then I'll go to Dr. Kwon.
So you are not permitted to section 62 of the Cybersecurity Act 2020, Act 1038. Take or permit to be taken an indecent image or photograph of a child. Some people use children to do this, so that's why we are starting from the child point of view. If you do that and you are caught, your charge would be 5 years in prison and up to 10 years.
A video of any child, or a child
if you produce, no, if you use it to indecent image, photograph of a child for purpose of publication of the indecent image and through the computer system. You want to use the indecent image, the vulnerability of the child, for money, for extortion, photograph, and those kind of things. You would have a challenge with the law. And it says that between 5 to 10 years, if you are.
But a lot of people don't know this.
So that's why we are
the law, and does the law really bring these perpetrators to book? Or people are not reporting because of that? We are not seeing a lot of people being charged or something. You can share with us.
From the discussions with cybersecurity experts in the country, people are reporting. However, the reporting rates are lower. Because most of these people that the thing would happen to, they are in a low income bracket. They don't know that they have a right. They don't know that there can be help. They don't even know that the cybersecurity agency can block the sharing when it comes to children. In fact, there's a way to muffle it and actually destroy the images online.
Then it's about time you educate people more. Because if your child is being used or being exploited through these means, the mother needs to be educated. So
the parents,
parents
not
need
just
to be,
the mother.
Need to be educated more, so they know what to do to be empowered.
Yeah, that is true. So a child engaged in sexually explicit, suggestive conduct. Sometimes they trick them and they make them wear skimpy things and they say they should dance a particular dance. But it is for exploitation, And a person who appears to be a child engaged in sexually explicit, suggestive conduct, images representing a child engaged in sexual conduct.
If what you're reading, I'm getting you right, then even parents, some parents who probably use their children or make their children, as you said, wear those skimpy things to dance and put it on social media is not right.
It's not right. And that is why I don't want to mention the title of the case and the names, but there was one person who was nude herself, and the child was standing beside her, and she was prosecuted. Okay. Yeah. She had to go on an appeal for the appeal to say, oh, maybe we'll reduce the sentence. Do you understand? Because it will affect the children, and the law frowns upon it. Then when it comes to adults, I don't know whether we should go there right now.
Just give me one and then let me get to Dr. Kwon.
The adults is what has happened, okay? If you indecently share intimate videos, photos of your relationship with somebody without their consent, you would have a problem with the law, and you would go to prison between 1 year and 3 years.
Then what happens to the person, the other person, maybe the woman, when probably the one who shared goes to prison? Is there a way of any incentive for that person?
In fact, unfortunately, that is what people do not pursue. Exactly. When it comes to our criminal justice, we are looking at you and the state. So the offender or the suspect against the state. You, the complainant or the victim in these cases, you don't really get anything, you see. So sometimes the courts could give you a compensation depending on the nature of the situation and how you argue your case.
Even with that, it is not solid.
I was about to say that we've had a lot of instances that the courts grant compensation actually, where the offender, so the complainant. So for example, trafficking of persons, whether online or physical, we've had the court actually giving a lot of compensation to the victims, whether it's external trafficking or internal trafficking or online. I mean, we've had a lot of victims that have been trafficked using cyber-related forms. And so we have people that are lured through marriages. So they'll promise you marriage, your friend, it can be relatives or somebody you are very familiar with. And so online they will recruit, and then when you get to your destination, you realize that whatever they promised you or the marriage, in fact, they will come and marry you, but the end result is to exploit you. And so we've had instances, if it is reported, the court actually asked for compensation for the victims.
Is it that
and
huge?
Then, of course, it depends, it's case by case, but I don't think we want to encourage people to not to be vigilant. And so it depends on the damages and what the court deemed fit as the issue.
So the issue is be vigilant.
Yes,
be vigilant.
Of course, like I keep saying, I think the first safe space is you being vigilant, you being secured yourself, you having information and knowledge, you understanding your circles. And so if somebody sells an idea or an information to you, whether online, personal, I think the onus and the responsibility lies on you to ask questions, to probe further. One thing about traffickers, online exploiters and criminals is that they don't like people who ask questions.
Exactly.
Because the more you ask questions,
you know, one of the videos, I think that one of the ladies was asking a lot of questions.
And they'll just bypass you because they know you are already not going to.
All right, let me have your psychological things about all of these that we say. You heard the people in the video, and you've heard what we're talking about in the studio. Just in 2-5 minutes, let me hear from you. Psychologically, how does all of these exploitations affect the victims?
Okay, so psychologically, this is very huge, and the impact is very, very devastating. The people are not ready, and then now they find themselves being chased after, and then an information which they deem so dear and so secretive has been let out. So when it is like this, my observation is that people will think they are being too materialistic and they are following after the things of this world. They are following after money without looking into the details, as the lawyer was mentioning, that the start and the end of the story is not really delved into. But then in psychological, we say that they use heuristics. So a short analysis of it, and then they come out with this idea. And this can, in fact, lead to depression, anxiety states. They can have triggers, even around more centers around hotels, around anywhere that may serve as a trigger. They are likely to avoid such spaces. Some of them can be suicidal. Some can have issues with relations. And as a collectivistic society, this can even be extended to the families where they may be coming from. Again, to expectations around young ladies and women, generally speaking, even to do with our society as ladies from Ghana, may have this ink marked on us that probably all of us are like that. It also means that they were not conscious of the social space and personal space that we have. As individuals, we know that things to do with intimacy must be carefully examined. The space, which is the intimate space, has been abused. If you don't know someone, you should know the limit to which the intimate space must be explored. And then the social space. All these things were not taken, or they were not given attention. And this can mean that these girls were not very careful. But it doesn't mean that we have to sit somewhere and give them names. Again, to the fear of missing out, that people think that if you are not in this particular group, you don't belong to this particular behaviors. If you don't have money or riches, then you are missing out. So that is also something that promises these girls or young ladies, sometimes some of them, to move into that space, and then they can be exploited. We also want to know that the side effects of all these things can be very, very, very bad. And the dynamics of we entering into safe spaces when we meet people, when we are associating with people, is very, very important for us to believe in ourselves, work on ourselves, improve on ourselves, and our hallmark as ladies, working towards hard work, not cutting short to make money our treasures, but believing in the systems and believing in ourselves. Also looking out to safe spaces. Which church are you going? What message do you hear? What are the family values that you have carried on in your life? What are your personal views about these things?
All right.
Should also inform you well as a lady, so that you can move to.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kwon. We'll come back to you, and then you wrap up with us shortly. So, the ladies, everything is boiling down to women, as in the home you are coming from, the financial issues, as she was mentioning sometimes. I saw you nodding. But I want to find out, what will you think will be some of the reasons for which people will fall prey to some of these issues? And then we'll talk about where the investigations have gone to, because I think just after the issue, the ministry came up, the digital and communication minister also came up. So it's being investigated. Where have we gotten to? Finish with us, and then Lawyer will continue with some of the trafficking issues and what you think prompts some of our girls to go into these issues.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the work of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, the Ministry for Communication and all stakeholders, the police, Cyber Security Authority, I think it has been out there, it hasn't been a secret. But for the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, our key responsibility, aside seeking justice, is also the welfare of the women. And as you recall, the Honorable Minister, Honorable Agnes Namu-Molatey, retreating, there is a help that is being given to the ladies that have come forth. Like my sister rightly said, it has had a lot of psychological toll on them. Often,
how many of them have come, if I should cut
I
through?
think I wouldn't like to disclose that because when we start, we must protect their identity as much as possible. So if we start segregating numbers, we may give clues, but that's not our work. Our work is to ensure that they holistically come back to society. They are able to deal with the stigma. The first point of call is forgiving yourself. I think for the other judgment, the stories, how society feel can really have a toll on you if you do not forgive yourself. And so the first point of response is how to deal with the stigma, for them to understand what has happened, how they are going to move forward, how they are going to even use their story as a platform for others to learn lessons. And when I was young, my mother used to say that if something happens to your neighbor, like we say, you fetch water to safeguard your own beer. And so you shouldn't wait for it to happen to you before you learn lessons out of this. First, we all must be vigilant. Secondly, we must educate our youth. Social media is a very beautiful space, but it can also be a very terrible space. And then again, one may not know whether he or she is being monitored. And we shouldn't think that this happens to only women. Men have fallen prey to this. Okay. Children have fallen prey to this. Persons with disability, people that are innocent enough and does not know the end result. And so for human trafficking, for example, we have the human trafficking law that at least will give you 25 years maximum and 5 years, just like the cyber related laws. Even if one of these laws does not get you, however, as an offender, because yes, a foreign national may have done it, but there can be possibility that there are Ghanaians also preying on other women, trying to maybe think of repeating the same thing.
Elsewhere.
Let's tell them that, and we are saying for a fact, if you do, the law will get you. You will be prosecuted. You are not permitted to take pictures, videos of the intimacy going on between you and your partner, whether even consented at the beginning. Some women thought it's just for fun. Some men even think it's just for fun. And before they realize they are getting blackmailed with it. We do not condone any of this. And we also want to advise the youth out there, do not share your pictures, nude pictures, do not. No matter what, I think report to the right authority, tell somebody that this person is forcing me to take a picture. And if you do not know, and the person comes back and tell you that, I have a picture of you, like we said, report to the Cybersecurity Authority. You can call the 18555, which is the police. The Ministry of Gender also have a toll-free line, 0800 800 800 and 0800 900 900. You will not be charged. Just call. You can remain anonymous. Just give us the necessary information. We'll report to the Cybersecurity Authority. Like Kezia Kenneth Amuzu rightly, yes, Azuma rightly said, there are ways of even destroying those videos by the police or the Cybersecurity Authority when we report and give the right information. You should avoid clicking on links that you are not familiar with, because you get then all your data can be taken and later they can even form. I mean, we are in the era of AI and all they need is just your basic information and they can remodel even you. Sometimes it may not be the person. We've had a high profile of people that their images have been used, a new Facebook account and other accounts have been created, and people extort money from them, pretending that they are the famous people, but they are not. And so all of us need to be vigilant in this
all of us need to be vigilant, and then the law works. Let me have your final comment as far as this person, as in the foreign national, is concerned. How will prosecution be? When you are prosecuting, do you take into account all of these complications?
Yes,
your
you
final
will, but
word on that.
From what I have read and what I have heard, we cannot prosecute him because the laws do not allow him to be extradited into the country. But with everything my sister has said, for some people, they chase married men and then they take their nudes and use it as a blackmail. If you do that and you are gotten, you will be prosecuted.
You will be prosecuted
if you do to a woman too, you'll be prosecuted. If you do to a child, you'll be prosecuted. Wherever. So also don't, even if your relationship is good, your marriage is excellent, do not do nudes. It's not the best. Because there's also another situation where somebody herself took the nude. I don't know how the thing slipped out. and it's being used. I was telling my sister that some people in my circles are even using it as a poster on a certain platform.
Unfortunately.
Anyway. Unfortunately, because she herself took the nude, it slipped out, and it is out there, you see. It's been blocked, but some people who still have it on WhatsApp
are still using it to do something. Okay. Dr. Kono, your final statement as far as this issue is concerned. Just 1 minute, we are wrapping up.
Okay, so I would say that we should be careful of intimate relationships, whom you are falling in love with, whom you are moving around with. Please make sure that you respect space. Again, too, we want also to inform the family values to be stronger. I mean, we are in a social world now, but please follow up with your children, check up on them and see how they are doing. And then also want the religious or the moral compass to be stronger, teaching children about the values through the word of God, prayer, and being there for them. And also, we want the educational institutes or institutions also to be strong. We call it, we are doing disciplines, discipline in psychology, discipline in law. Discipline is about being serious about what you are learning, character building, and character is about sculpturing. And when you are sculpturing, you need to move in with effort. So let's carve out a beautiful character. All the victims, I pray that they will have good psychological services and support, and they have to stay strong. We work on images, we work on negative cognitions so that they can be strong and be positive. And that is EMDR. They have to work using EMDR to clear them. So after that, then cognitive behaviors and other behavior functions can be put in place.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kono. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. They'll be fine. I think the Ministry of Gender, they are dealing with it, and then they will ensure that, as he said, the safe spaces will be created for them, and then everybody will be fine. So the key word is be vigilant out there. There are people there who are really praying after us, after men, women, children, everybody. So therefore, be vigilant and not be gullible. Thanks for watching this afternoon. My name is Mavis Ofei-Champo. We come your way again on Wednesday.
Still the new when it comes to the game of pugilism, and this man has decided that for the next 4 years he's going on with his team, marshal resources, their time, everything, their knowledge, to make sure that juvenile boxing, amateur boxing in Ghana, the narrative changes. That wherever it is now, they want to raise it 2 more notches or 3 more notches higher. So in the next 4 years, he wants to do something miraculous, according to him and his team. And he believes that it's possible that Ghana amateur boxing and Ghana juvenile boxing can go back and take its rightful place when it comes to pugilism.